Two cities are investigating the discoveries of human remains, one set found in a suitcase in Groton and another found yesterday in Danielson.
It would seem that there's a pattern, and that's scary.
Groton police are also investigating the disappearance of Stephen Gush, whose car and phone were found off of Route 184.
Norwalk police have identified the body of the woman recovered from the Norwalk River.
Recently found what may be a human skull in the woods of Plymouth, and now these families are left waiting to find out if it could be their loved one that was located.
And Denise Leary disappeared back in the fall. Her remains discovered in a wooded area pretty close to her home.
Someone found skeletal remains near the railroad tracks in the wooded area off Woodward Street. Authorities now confirm those remains are in fact human.
Skeletal remains that were found in Framingham. Crews were responding to a brush fire near the Mass Pike Thursday.
Since March of 2025, 7 bodies have been uncovered across Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. Some hidden in suitcases, others lost in the dense woods. One swept away in a river. Social media is on fire with one haunting question. Is a serial killer among us? TikTok videos are exploding with millions of views. A Facebook group called New England Serial Killer has surged to 18,000 members, and X is buzzing with theories. But here's the twist. Police say there's no evidence linking these cases. So are we facing a real monster? Or is this storm of panic fueled by our true crime obsession? My mission is to tell this story with respect for the victims and their families, sticking to the truth without sensationalizing it. This isn't just another true crime talk, okay? This is a real mystery that's unfolding right now. If you're ready to dive in, hit that subscribe button and let's go ahead and jump right into this. Let's lay out the facts. Since March 6, 2025, 7 sets of human remains have surfaced across New England, all within a couple hours drive along the Atlantic coast. Here's the timeline. March 6th, in Norwalk, Connecticut. Paige Fannin, 35, was found in the Norwalk River, reported missing from New York. She was last seen in Wilton, Connecticut the day before. Authorities suspect foul play.
Norwalk police have identified the body of the woman recovered from the Norwalk River. She's been identified as 35-year-old Paige Fannin of West Islip, New York. She was found Thursday.
March 6th, Plymouth, Massachusetts. A hunter discovered a partial skull in a wooded area off Route 3A, missing its jaw and nasal area. It's a grim puzzle investigators are still piecing together.
Recently found what may be a human skull in the woods of Plymouth, and now these families are left waiting to find out if it could be their loved one that was located.
March 19th, Groton, Connecticut. Near Colonel Ledyard Cemetery, a suitcase revealed the remains of an unidentified woman, aged 40 to 60, likely placed there in February. The discovery shook the town.
Human remains, one set found in a suitcase in Groton and
March 20th, New Haven, Connecticut. Denise Leary, 59, a mother of 2, was found in a wooded area, her body in advanced decay. She had been missing since September of 2024, battling schizophrenia.
Answers.
Human remains that were recently found have now been identified as an Elm City woman who had been missing for nearly 6 months.
Denise Leary disappeared back in the fall. Her remains discovered in a wooded area pretty close to her home where she was living in that New Haven neighborhood. No doubt a sad ending for both her family and the police department, both holding out hope.
March 26, Foster, Rhode Island. Michelle Romano, 56 years old, vanished in August of 2024. Her remains turned up in a wooded area, and police are calling the circumstances suspicious.
Of Michelle Romano, who went missing over the summer and whose body was discovered last week.
April 9th, Killingly, Connecticut. Unidentified remains were located near train tracks on Woodward Street, just miles from Foster, Rhode Island. The investigation is active.
Someone found skeletal remains near the railroad tracks in the wooded area off Woodward Street. Authorities now confirm those remains are in fact human.
April 10th, Framingham, Massachusetts. During a brush fire near the Massachusetts Turnpike, remains were found, possibly there for months. Police say foul play isn't suspected, but but it's added fuel to the speculation.
The medical examiner's office is trying to find out more about skeletal remains that were found in Framingham. Crews were responding to a brush fire near the Mass Pike Thursday night when those remains were found. Investigators say that it looked like it had been there for several months. Right now, they do not suspect foul play.
7 bodies, mostly women, found in chilling scenarios. But here's the key. Law enforcement, including Connecticut State Police, insists there is no evidence tying these cases together. On April 11th, they said,
"There is no information at this time suggesting any connection to similar discoveries in Rhode Island and the Connecticut shoreline area, and there is also no known threat to the public at this time."
Groton's police chief, LJ Fusaro, doubled down, urging people not to rush to judgment.
I would tell people don't rush to judgment.
Some wonder if this could all be the work of a serial killer. Police do not think so.
What I can say is that we don't believe there's any connection between them. But I've seen people draw conclusions. I've seen the stuff, and it's caused a little bit of concern in our community.
Now you might be thinking, 7 bodies in 6 weeks. How is this not all connected? It feels like something straight out of Mindhunter. But the police are firm. There are no serial killers. So why is everyone talking about it? Let's dive into the spark that set social media ablaze. Social media has turned this mystery into a wildfire. On X, the concern is growing fast. There's a Facebook group called New England SK that has exploded to 19,000 members, gaining thousands in days. So what's driving this frenzy? It's the geography. Most of these towns are under 2 hours apart. It's the timing. 6 weeks is lightning fast. It's the mystery. Unidentified remains and missing persons cases scream unsolved. But there's a catch. Social media can distort reality. In 2023, online TikToker Ken Wax linked a Chicago drowning to a serial killer, raising false hopes for families. This can clog police lines and spread pain and can spread false accusations. I totally get why this is blowing up. True crime is huge. We're hooked on shows like Dahmer because we want to crack the case from our couches. But we've got to tread carefully. Speculation can hurt real people, like the families of these victims. So what's making this feel so urgent? Let's look at New England's dark past. To understand why this hits so hard, we need to go back. New England's no stranger to serial killers. The Connecticut River Valley Killer, active from 1978 to 1988, is believed to have killed at least 7 women. The case is still unsolved, but one woman, Jane Borowski, survived a brutal attack in 1984. She was stabbed 27 times. On April 18, 2025, Borowski spoke out.
Cannot believe that you survived 27 stab wounds. I want to ask you about that in a moment, but first, what are your thoughts about the story I presented with 7 sets of remains and officials saying nothing to see here?
I find it suspicious. For first, I came across it online about a month ago, and then I started doing some research, and I'm like, this is awful suspicious. It just didn't sound right that they weren't connected, and the law enforcement was just so adamant about, all these cases not being suspicious. It just didn't sound right to me.
Her voice carries the weight of history. But here's where it gets sobering. History shows police can miss serial killers early on. In 1991, Milwaukee police brushed off neighbors' concerns about Jeffrey Dahmer, calling his apartment smells a domestic issue. He killed 17 people. In the 1980s, Washington police downplayed links between the Green River Killer's victims, delaying Gary Ridgway's arrest for years. These cases fuel skepticism when police say there is no connection between them today. This is why people aren't buying the no serial killer line so easily. When you've got a history like this, 7 bodies feels like a red flag. But there's another side. Assuming a serial killer too soon can cause serious harm. Let's break that down. Jumping to serial killer isn't just a theory. It can hurt people. First, it impacts the families. Imagine being Denise Leary's kids. Seeing their mom's name dragged into online conspiracies, it's heartbreaking. Second, it can derail actual police work. In 2013, Reddit users wrongly accused a missing Brown University student of the Boston Marathon bombing. Police wasted time clearing his name. Experts like Matthew Mangino, a criminal defense attorney, put it in perspective. On April 16, 2025, he told Fox News, "The situation merits review, but there's no confirmed serial killer. The FBI says a serial killer involves 2 or more murders in separate events with a cooling off period. Right now, the evidence doesn't fit. Different methods, locations, and victim profiles make a pattern unclear." This is the balancing act. We can't ignore what people see. A cluster of deaths that feel so wrong, but we also can't let fear outrun the facts. So why are we obsessed with this story? Let's dig into that. Why can't we look away? It's not just the mystery, it's New England. These quiet towns, with their foggy coasts and dark woods, feel like a stage for suspense. Mix that with our true crime obsession, podcasts, documentaries, and it's no wonder we're hooked. Criminologist Scott Bond says serial killers fascinate us because they're monsters hiding in plain sight. We want to understand, to feel safe by solving their riddles. But we can't forget the human side. These aren't plot twists. These are people. Paige Fannin, a 35-year-old with dreams. Michelle Romano, whose family waited months for answers. As we explore this, we owe it to them to keep it real and respectful. What's your take? Is this a serial killer? A coincidence? Or something else? Drop your thoughts below, but let's keep this respectful for the families involved. And let's keep this conversation thoughtful. Hit subscribe and ring the bell for me. Share this with a friend who loves a mystery. It's been your boy Buck. I'll see you next time.